Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm happy to see today for another video, and for this week's video we're gonna talk about food, healthy stuff, about being healthy for your health and for your body. So today's title is Manger sain, meaning eat healthy. First, qu'est-ce que manger sain? What is that we call to eat healthy? Manger sain, c'est manger des aliments bons pour la santé. To eat healthy, it's to eat healthy food, good food for the health. Manger sain, healthy eating. Okay, so right now, we're gonna see everything related to the vocabulary. First, let's focus on the healthy ingredients, healthy food, les aliments sains. Les fruits, fruits. Careful on the pronunciation with this one. We do not really pronounce the same way as what we do in English. In English, you don't pronounce the I. In French, we do. So we go from fruits to les fruits, les fruits. And now, let's be a little more specific. An apple, une pomme. A banana, une banane. An orange, une orange. Little switch in the pronunciation. Une orange. Vegetables, les légumes. A carrot, une carotte. A tomato, une tomate. Salad, la salade. Fish, le poisson. Rice, le riz. Do not pronounce the Z. Le riz. Water, l'eau. Now that you said the vocabulary, we're going to read it once again in French only, and I want you to pay attention to the links, les liaisons that we're doing, because we're trying to connect everything as much as we can. Les fruits, une pomme, une banane, une orange. Les légumes, une carotte, une tomate, la salade, le poisson, le riz, l'eau. Water, O. E-A-U makes the sound O like the O letter. L'eau. These would be the elements, the ingredients that we considered healthy, good for the health. Now let's talk about the ingredients, the food that is maybe a little less healthy. Fast food, same word. In French, le fast food. Fries, les frites. Candy, les bonbons. Cakes, les gâteaux. Do not pronounce the X. The X is the letter of the plural. So if I say cakes plural, I need to put my word gâteau plural, and the letter is the X, but it's always mute. Les gâteaux, cakes. Soda, les sodas. Pretty similar. Once again, le fast food, les frites, les bonbons. When it comes to candy, careful, we don't say bonbon, because the O and the N together makes the sound on. So we say les bonbons, les gâteaux, les sodas. Now, les repas de la journée, the meals of the day. Breakfast, le petit déjeuner. Here, for example, if you want to really pay attention to the way we say breakfast, to say breakfast in French is literally the way that we say the little lunch. Because how do we say lunch? Le déjeuner. So the little lunch is the French breakfast. Le petit déjeuner, breakfast. Le déjeuner, lunch. Le dîner, the dinner. Exemple. Au petit déjeuner, je mange un fruit. For the breakfast, I eat a fruit. Au déjeuner, je mange des légumes. At lunch, I eat some vegetables. When you have those phrases like that and you want to practice on your pronunciation, try to repeat the phrases as much as possible and try to make it as smooth as possible. Au petit déjeuner, je mange un fruit. Au déjeuner, je mange des légumes. Now, useful verbs, les verbes utiles. To eat, manger, and not manger, manger. To drink, boire. To like or to love, aimer. To prefer, préférer. Every time you have the E with your accent, you have to pronounce it. Préférer. Example of phrases. Je mange des fruits. I eat some fruits. Je bois de l'eau. I drink some water. J'aime les légumes. I like or I love vegetables. Now, when we pay attention to the way we make the phrases, you see that here, when it comes to my vocabulary of the ingredients and we use a little thing before. Why is the thing before the little ingredients? We're going to see all the structure of the phrases, meaning how do we build the phrases in French? We have two types of the main structure that we can use. First one is the simple structure. You have the subject, the verb, and the ingredient, the food. Je mange une pomme. I eat an apple. Il mange du riz. He eats rice. Nous buvons de l'eau. We drink some water. Same thing, you have the pronoun, the verb that goes for the action, and the thing. Then if you want to change it and use the verb aimer, which is to love or to like. It's the same construction. You have your subject, the verb, and the food. J'aime les fruits. I love or I like fruits. If you want to put that negative and you want to say she doesn't like, in order to say the doesn't, to put the phrase into negative, you have to put the ne and the pas. You put ne before the verb and pas after the verb. And if you have a verb that starts with a vowel, the ne, which is the first word that we use, you can remove the e from ne, you remove the e and you put an apostrophe. Elle n'aime pas les sodas. She doesn't like soda. So you see that here, I have my verb am, and I have my an apostrophe before and my pas after. Those three together, the ne, the verb, and the pas, makes the negation. Let's read that together again. Je mange une pomme. Il mange du riz. Nous buvons de l'eau. J'aime les fruits. Elle n'aime pas les sodas. Okay, this is the basic construction of the phrases. Now, when it comes to food, you have to know that we always put a little quantity, a little pronoun before the food. We can have multiple, depends on what you want to say. But for the majority, you're going to use un, une, which is a or one, depending on the gender. If it's masculine, you're going to say un. If it's feminine, you're going to say une. Then we use the some. Some is like a must go when you talk about food in French. For example, if you want to say he eats rice in French, it's the same as you're saying he eats some rice. She wants some chocolate. You always need to have the some. So here, let's have a look. First example, je mange une pomme. Here, it's something that I can count. It's one apple. It's an apple. I can count it. If I can count it, I can say a or I can say one because I can have 1, 2, 3. So here, because it's specific to one only, I say une. Pomme is feminine, so I'm going to use my feminine one. Je mange une pomme. Je mange un yaourt, a yogurt. Un yaourt. In this word, you pronounce every letter. Yaourt. Here, same thing. If I wanted, I could have eaten like 2 yogurts, but it's just one, so I can say one as a quantity. Je mange un yaourt. But look at this one. Je mange des légumes. Here, it's I eat vegetables. But we don't use a specific quantity because you cannot like quantify how much or how many vegetables you have in your plate specifically. So here you have to use some. So it's like you're saying, I eat some vegetables. It's more general. And because vegetables is plural, you need to use the plural some, which is des. Je mange des légumes. Another example. Je mange du riz. Riz is rice. You cannot say straight away, je mange riz. That literally translates to I eat rice. In French, you need the some. Rice is masculine singular. So I need to use the masculine singular some, which is du. So if you want to say I eat rice, it's like you're saying I eat some rice. Je mange du riz. Another example, I eat salad. If you want to say I eat salad, I cannot really count it because it's just like the full amount of it. So, and then something that you cannot say I eat one salad, 2 salad. It's something as like it's all. So you're going to say here, I eat some salad. Same as the rice. But salad is feminine this time. So I cannot say du because du is for the masculine noun that follows. Because salad is feminine, I'm going to have to use the some that is feminine to match with the gender of my noun. So because salad is feminine, I'm going to use the feminine some, which is de la. Je mange de la salade. I eat some salad. And the last one, this one may be a little trickier, but you're going to see it's not that complicated. I drink some water. Same rule. Here, you're going to say I drink water straight away. It's always I drink some water. Water is feminine. So I'm supposed to say de la the same way as I'm saying de la salade. I'm supposed to say de la eau because eau is a feminine word. So I'm using the feminine some, which is de la. The only issue that we have with eau is that it starts with a vowel. So if I keep de la, then I say my word water, which is eau. When I'm going to say the phrase, I'm going to say je bois de la eau. De la eau. And if I keep that between my la and my o, water, there's a break because I have two vowels that I do pronounce, so I need to make a break to pronounce everything. De la o. We don't like that. So we try to make everything as smooth as possible. So every time that you have a vowel, you can just remove the a. So instead of saying de la o, you remove the a from de la and you replace it with an apostrophe. So you go from de la o to de l'eau, which is even more easier to pronounce, it's smoother, it sounds better. So, je bois de l'eau. I drink some water. It's still my some. It's just that because I have the vowel, I can remove the a and replace it with an apostrophe. Let's read those phrases again together. And if you want to practice, do it with me so that you can practice on the smoothness of the phrases. Je mange une pomme. Je mange un yaourt. Je mange des légumes. Je mange du riz. Je mange de la salade. Je bois de l'eau. And now, the construction of the phrase is perfect. You have your subject, you have your verb, and you have the ingredient and the food. But keep in mind, if it's something that you can count, you can say un or une, which is a or one. If it's something that's too vague that you cannot count, then put in your hand literally, you have to say some. And you need to adjust. If it's a some that is masculine because the food is masculine in French, you have to use du. If it's feminine, such as salade, you have to use de la. If it's feminine with a vowel, such as eau, water, you put an apostrophe. And if it's plural, such as légumes, vegetables, you put de. So you always need to connect the gender of your some with the gender of your noun that follows. And now it's time for you to practice a little bit on the vocabulary. So you're going to see here, it's, I think, pretty easy if you understood all of the main vocabulary that we saw. You have to tell me if those phrases are right or wrong. Right is vrai. You have to put a V letter to tell me that they're true. If they're false, that is fausse en français, that means you have to put the letter F. We're going to read the phrases together and you're going to tell me what you think. Do they make sense or not? Numéro 1. Les fruits sont bons pour la santé. Vrai ou faux? Les légumes sont bons pour la santé. Vrai ou faux? Les sodas sont bons pour la santé. Vrai ou faux? L'eau est une boisson saine. Vrai ou faux? Les bonbons sont des aliments sains. Vrai ou faux? So you pay attention to the vocabulary, what those words mean, and if they're true, you put the V. If they're false, you put the F. I would like you just to practice one more time on the pronunciation, and especially on the last one, because here we can make a couple of different links. But let's read all together those 5 phrases to practice on the sound again. Les fruits sont bons pour la santé. Les légumes sont bons pour la santé. Les sodas sont bons pour la santé. L'eau est une boisson saine. You see how I'm connecting everything? L'eau est une boisson saine. Les bonbons sont des aliments sains. Doing my link between des and aliment, because aliment starts with the vowel, so take your S from des. Les bonbons sont des aliments sains. and try to practice as much as you can on the pronunciation. If you want to do this exercise, either in the comment section of this video or on your own, and send us your answers, we'll be happy to help you. I hope that you guys liked this video today. If you did, don't forget to put a little comment. It's always pleasant to see that you guys liked it or not, especially if you liked it. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. If you have a specific topic, same thing, we'll be happy to help. And I'm wishing you all a good end of your week, and I'm seeing you next week for another video. Salut!